Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today I'm going to give you my thoughts on Unstoppable. This is the newest game in the Solo Hero series from Renegade Games. It is a game designed by John D. Clair, so there's a lot of his elements in here, including, like building cards. It is literally a card builder within a deck builder. It's definitely got its pros and cons, so I wanted to talk about those today briefly, just so if you're considering purchasing this, you can make an informed decision. First of all, this is, I think one of the pros is that it's a very unique deck builder, very unique system, even compared to, say, Mystic Vale. And a lot of that stems from the fact that your cards are not only threats, but they're also then the cards that you use on your turn. So you have to defeat a threat that comes out in front of you before you can gain that card into your hand. You don't ever draw cards at the beginning of your turn. There's no card limit as far as your hand limit is concerned. And also, anytime, since the threat is on the opposite side, anytime you choose an upgrade card, which are these are here in the middle, that would improve your card, which is kind of a John D. Clair aspect with the sleeving, the clear sleeves and everything. You're also improving, most likely, the threat on the opposite side. So you make your card a little better, you make the threat card a little better. So this means that the game scales up within the game quite well. As your cards are getting better, so are the threats. One of the other pros of the game is that you don't ever have to purchase the main cards up here. You purchase the upgrades, but you basically every turn are going to gain a card from this market row. And the level of card that you gain is based on your character level or whether you've boosted up your little pill token here. So if you've boosted up your pill token for that next round, you get to draft from a higher pile. That's nice because you are never going to have a turn where you just have a bad draw and can't purchase anything and it feels like a dead turn. You also get to choose. So you're going to draw 3 cards off the top of that deck. You're going to decide which one is best for synergizing your deck, and then that card is going to immediately come into your hand. You don't have to deal with the threat. You don't even know what the threat is on the other side that you sleeve it into until it comes back up after you've leveled up. So instantly gaining a card, instantly knowing what that card is, it's a better card per se than certainly your starter cards, is a nice touch. Now, again, one of the pros of this game, I feel like, is the fact that it is just so unique. With everything that I just discussed, I have had a lot of fun trying to wrap my head around what the best strategy is for this game. You don't lose money between each turn, but you also don't gain money in the same way you do as a normal deck builder. You again have a very limited amount of cards in your hand and can get stuck if you're not planning ahead with gaining too many threat out here on the board, not enough cards in hand, not enough to deal with them, and next thing you know, you're just dead. This current setup is actually after one of my most recent games playing the Harbinger, who is supposed to be the easiest, and getting my butt kicked. You can see I got 5 out of a total of 12 damage on him. So let's move on to the cons. What people might not like about this game, and that clearly I just opened the door for my first one, and that is this is not an easy deck builder. Even on easy mode, playing the easiest boss, I am still struggling to figure out what that strategy is in order to take out threats at a regular basis, keep cards in my hand that can do damage and protect me. It is tricky. This is not a beginning deck builder game by any means. So I would say that's more of a mix. Some people may appreciate the fact that there is a heavy amount of strategy that goes into what it's going to take out these bosses and take out these threat cards as they increase in difficulty. Another con for me, so moving away from the mix, but this is a pure con, I feel like this game is definitely very fiddly. Fiddly during setup, somewhat fiddly during gameplay, and very fiddly during breakdown. So if you think about it, you have to shuffle up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6 decks here just for the market row. You have to create and shuffle up your threat deck. You have to shuffle up these upgrade cards, which I know it sounds silly, but the fact that some of them are open down here and some are open up here makes it very tricky to shuffle, and they tend to group together so that you're going to have a lot of the ones up top together and a lot of the ones down below together, and you can't sleeve these in advance. They have to be added to their sleeves during the game. So just that alone is a fair amount of setup just to get the general core part of the game set up. And then breaking it down, you have to go through and find each card that you added an upgrade to, pull it out and put it back into the upgrades deck. You have to take every card that was not a starter card and remove the core card, then store all these back away. Now the game did come with dividers, so everything gets stored back away nice and neatly, making it, as long as you take the time to clean it up properly, helping in that step. But it definitely is not one that you're going to get to the table super quickly or get off the table super quickly. I actually, finished up a game last night, left this out thinking I'm just going to clean this up in the morning, I'm not going to deal with it right now, and then decided to make this video. The next con I have is that the game can be very random. These threats that are coming out of this deck here, you have some standard threats in your starting deck, which are very easy to take on at the beginning. They scale with the boss because they have an X value where X is equal to the boss level, and you can see here the boss level when I was defeated was 3. But then as you start choosing your cards and adding them to your deck, you're pulling from this pile, and these threats start making it into your deck, and you have to start bringing them out. And here's just an example of a few of the things. And I think the turn I lost in, I also had one of these, and maybe even one of these. I can't remember, but these have a lot of the keywords that we can touch on here. A fast card means that an additional card is going to come out into the threat area. A rage card is going to automatically take out one of your allies if it attacks. Terror card is going to take away an action point, which you only get 3. Crazed actually hurts itself, but only if you have lower health than that value. And taunt is pretty standard, means you have to take out this guy first. So a lot of these cards all of a sudden are coming out, and if you get the wrong draw off of your deck here, and you maybe end up with, say, 4 cards instead of 3, and they're all the advanced threat cards that are pulled from that deck as opposed to your starter cards, you can go from feeling like you're doing just fine to all of a sudden you're dead in a turn. So it's very swingy. Maybe you end up with a lot of fast cards in your deck, and these fast cards will continue to bring out cards up to 6. There's no way you can take out 6 people in one turn. Your damage has to be to a specific card. You cannot spread damage around. You generally only get 3 actions on your turn, which, if you've planned out your deck correctly, allows you to play 3 cards, but maybe not, because cards become more expensive. Like this card, for example, here costs 5 action points to play. You only get 3. So not only do you have to have this card here in your hand, but then you have to have 2 other cards in your hand that you can play for free, essentially, that's going to give you 2 action points, and then you can play that one, and that's your turn. Again, this is harking back to the difficulty level of the game. So I feel like I've covered a lot of cons and highlighted those more than the pros. But at the end of the day, I would advise this game for seasoned deck builder veterans. So if you are used to deck building, you are feel like you can wrap your head around a deck building strategy that's going to work for your character against the threats that are coming out and still take care of the boss in the background, then I would definitely recommend this. Again, I would not recommend this game for beginners, people who do not like a deep strategy game. anyone who does not like a fiddly game, especially during setup and cleanup. I would not recommend that to you. I feel like, though, most of the people who watch my channel are seasoned gamers and are sometimes looking for that more challenge. In that respect, I would definitely recommend this one, because this is unlike anything I have ever seen before in a deck builder. There's so many kind of new aspects here. I've played Mystic Vale. I've played, the card creation style, the card building style deck or card games before, so that's not new. But just the combination of the threats being on the backside, increasing your cards, also increasing your threats. The bosses are all unique. I actually have just been sticking with this one character here in the several games that I've played, but there's a smattering of unique characters you can play here, and I think it's just a matter of time before I can wrap my head around the strategy and get better. And in that case, I'm going to feel pride in my victories now that I have become better at the game. So I've got plenty of deck builders that are easy to play, easy to defeat, ones that I can play with my kids. I would not recommend that for this. But anyways, those are just my thoughts on the game, some pros, some cons, a mixture, that whole difficulty thing. Take that into account if you are considering buying this in the future. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. If you're interested in learning how to play the game, I do have a video. I can pop it up now in the upper right corner, and you can find it at the end of the video, my how to play video on Unstoppable. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.